Hi, my name is Gerald, and I'm a consultant, but don't let that scare you. Okay, that didn't work. Never mind. So, it's a lightning talk, so I'll be quick. I've had a lot of things. I've had a career in development, where I made software, and then I've had another career in application security, where I broke software. My most recent engagement is very interesting with a well-known UK retailer that recently had a cyber incident. So there's a lot of interesting work, but this is not this talk. I want to start by a quiz. Well, what is AI? What is Copilot? What is Ralph Wiggum? And what is the Juice Shop? Now, let's go through this. Unless you've been living under this, I think you probably know what AI is. I'm, of course, not talking about AI. I'm talking about Gen AI, the thing where, you do like predictive text on steroids. Don't worry, I hate it. I don't like using it, but here's my presentation on AI. It should be interesting. Now then, Copilot happens to be the thing that I use. Now, there are other coding agents available. Now, the one consistent thing with AI logos these days, I believe, is they all depict arseholes when you look at it. I guess the Copilot, the cursor one is a bit of a weird fecal shape. What is Juice Shop? Juice Shop is an OWASP application that is intentionally insecure. It's basically made to be hacked. Now you can go to it on that website. I had a lot of fun trying to solve the things. It is very educational. I would recommend it to anyone. So, this is the Copilot CLI. Who is using something like it? Claude, Copilot, Codex? Who does not admit to using it but still use... Oh, hold on. So, essentially, one of the things that you have with generative AI is that you can help you do stuff. It is either write programs, it is to analyze text, it is to call APIs and do stuff for you. I gave a talk, I think at BSIDE Newcastle last year, where I was speaking to Copilot because the Mac has got a nice text-to-speech thing, so you can go and feel like Captain Picard and say, "Computer, create me a program that does this." Now, one of the things that I'd like to mention these days, I think half a year ago, if you ask developers, you probably find that Copilot, who wants to use that? It's garbage. It doesn't work. Claude is so much better, or whatever. Claude Code is so much better. But these days, the underlying models that are used by all the different coding agents go to the same places. So you can use Claude inside Copilot, you can use GPT 5.4 and all the latest frontier models. And despite me saying that I actually hate them, because I found them soul-destroying, they have come on leaps and bounds. They do a lot of stuff, just as long as you don't trust them. So one of the problems with doing Copilot is that you just sit there and press approve. When I go back to this is the prompt that you're getting, and you say, well, do you actually want to do this? So you just go and press yes, I want to do this. And that's what makes it so soul-destroying in my opinion, because it does a lot of stuff for you, and you just go, yeah, looks right. It's okay. Looks good. Now, that's where Ralph comes in. It's actually a real thing. I've not just made this up. Has anybody heard of the Ralph Wiggum loop? So this is a scene out of The Simpsons where Ralph Wiggum, the simpleton Simpsons character, lovable, tries to use the slide, or tries to build a slide, and it just falls over. But he keeps trying, bless him, and he'll go and do it. It'll fall over again. And the idea of the Ralph loop is to basically do a similar thing. You create a prompt, you give it to the coding agent, tell it to go away and do it, and at the end of it, you kind of say, have you done everything? And if you haven't, go back to the start. And you just keep doing the same thing again and again and again and again. Now, you might think, why am I standing here on a security conference telling you to just trust the AI and get it to code stuff and do stuff again and again and again? Seems like a recipe for disaster. Now, there's this thing called the lethal trifecta, which is a concept in how you want to use AI, and essentially is you don't want to give it access to private data, accept untrusted content, and have the ability to communicate with other stuff. Pick 2 out of the 3, not all 3. It then gives you an amount of safety. For example, if you give your AI control over your laptop, i.e. it has got access to your private data, your emails, your credentials, your everything, and it reads external websites which might have hidden prompt injection, and it can talk to those things, then you're running at risk of finding that your emails have been siphoned off somewhere. So what I want to do, and the title of the talk is Ralph Doing the Juice Shop, I want to basically go and say, how does AI get on with solving the OWASP juice shop? But I don't want to sit there pressing the button every time. I want to go to sleep and wake up in the morning and have it done lots of things. Now, what I did, I created a set of Docker containers, which are ways of putting bits of software in a little capsule. I've had one where Ralph and my co-pilot sits. I've had another one which is a proxy that controls the egress so that I'm not letting it talk to anything else that I don't want to. I had my juice shop running on my laptop, and I had a man-in-the-middle proxy, which basically means I can look at the network traffic. And then I pressed go, and I did go to sleep. I pressed go at 2 o'clock in the morning because it's a last-minute talk. So, and when I woke up, it had generated me a nice little penetration test report. It had gone round the loop 15 times, and it had solved 38% of the OWASP juice shop challenges. How am I doing for time? As you can see, this is the user interface for that man-in-the-middle proxy, where I see what kind of requests and responses I do. Again, this is just out of the box. And you can sort of see how it found that SQL injection that was hiding in the OWASP juice shop. I did not tell it a single thing. I just told it to go and solve the OWASP juice shop. I gave it some instructions to not cheat. It shouldn't go and look up the solutions online. And because I'm a cynical, grumpy bastard, that's why I put the Squid proxy instance in to actually prevent it from going out to websites that I didn't want it to see. So it solved quite a bit. The real question is that impressive because the AI models have been trained on Juice Shop? It's a very well-known application security training exercise. It is publicized on the web, which means that the AI scrapers that create the content for all the models will have seen all the solutions and embedded them into the model. The real question is, how will it fare with an unknown challenge? Now, I'm going to try and use this technique with the CTF. See how it fares, whether it does something good, because I'm hoping that the CTF isn't something where you can just look it up online and go and find it. And the other question, of course, is, can you actually trust what it feeds back to you? It might be hallucinating things, which, like I said at the beginning, the models have got better. Now, I do have a new favorite Mac OS command. One of the problems with a laptop is that it likes to go to sleep to conserve energy. One of the things that I don't want it to do is to go to sleep, because I want it to run my loop that keeps going round and tries to solve the OWASP juice shop. There's this command called caffeinate, which tells, while it's running, it won't send your MacBook to sleep, whether it's on power or not. So that's my new favorite command. And that's it. In the words of Ralph Wiggum, I'm in danger. But I don't think I'm in danger of, being out of a job. I think it's just a way of doing things that might change. And I find that interesting. So, because this is a lightning talk, we'll stop it here, which has given me about 13 minutes, which is not too bad, because usually I waffle on. If you have any questions, shoot. Yes?
So in your organisation currently, in ours, there's a push to use AI.
Yep.
I can reconcile that with the full parts of doing software engineering. So for me, I've had challenges where I've been pushed to use pull up code to solve the software problem. And it just takes
It does, yeah. I think for me it is about, I try to make it use the boring bit. Now, I've, unfortunately, aside from having AI generating a few scripts to glue things together, I've not written real software in a while, because I've actually done, my main weapon these days are Excel and Word, which sounds horrible, but you end up writing lots of proposals, you go and look at the bigger picture, the infrastructure, all of that. And I found I've actually primarily been using it for aggregating and searching through information. So I've set one of these loops up to go and say, right, I need to solve this particular thing. I've got Confluence, SharePoint, a lot of information in lots of different places. Go off and do something for me. And it then gives me that sort of initial sort of bits of feedback, which, like, as if anybody uses AI, find you have a wall of text, and then you kind of go, right, and now I need an AI to actually tell me what this all means. But it is useful to sort of dig into things. You can be quite specific in sort of going down the edge cases and bringing all that information together to then allow you to think about, well, what do I want to do with this information? I'm weirdly enjoying, even though I hate the idea of AI just getting. And this is essentially why I sort of tried. Well, I hate having to sit there, but I don't want to, run in the so-called YOLO mode where you don't have any guardrails whatsoever. So I took the guardrails off, but only inside that Docker container, the Docker container which hasn't got any access to anything. And that's where I sort of feel more comfortable in sort of going, oh, I've got a big job for you. Off you go. And do it. And the interesting thing is, while there are lots of bits of software that do it for you, at the end of the day, the concept of the Valve loop is that it's just a bash loop, so that it kind of just, it runs the same thing over and over again. The whole thing, the whole sort of harness that are built is if it's 100 lines of code, that would be much. And you don't need any extra bits for it. And that's what made it interesting. I hope that wasn't too rambling.
Is it on your GitHub?
Not yet, but I'll write it up. And
that's all we've got time for. Thanks so much, Gerald. If you've got any other questions, feel free to catch him. He'll be about.